The Fallschirmjägers are probably one of the most well-known elite groups of soldiers that the German military had at their disposal in World War II. They were feared by their enemies and were the innovators of a brand new type of combat, airborne assault. In Battlefield 5, one of the iconic outfits that we got to unlock was our tokens from the Deluxe Edition or from completing the Road to Battlefield 5 challenges in Battlefield 1 is based on the Fallschirmjägers. Hey everyone, what's going on? Christopher, the video game historian here, and it's time I finally got around to talking about the Fallschirmjägers in World War II, the inspiration behind the two outfits available for the Axis faction in Battlefield 5. The standard and heavy Fallschirmjäger. That's right, you're technically getting a 2-for-1 deal with this video as I cover two separate, though very similar outfits. The standard Fallschirmjäger outfit is equipped to my Axis Assault class, while the heavy Fallschirmjäger outfit is equipped to my Axis Support class, which I thought were both quite appropriate. Now to start off, when looking for the clothes specific to the heavy Fallschirmjäger in the appearance menu, you will find that they are given a different name, Luftlandstruppen, which when translated to English simply means airborne forces, which is exactly what the Fallschirmjägers were and why I'm covering both of these outfits in one video. This unit would be established in 1936 by General Kurt Student and would be Germany's paratrooper force. When it was first formed, they started out as a single battalion, but eventually grew rapidly into a division by 1938 and later becoming a corps. Only volunteers would be accepted into this newly formed unit, with many coming from the Hitler Youth and Nazi labor service. Training would be tough, grueling, and intense, where recruits spent 3 months, regardless of their rank, training in infantry tactics, demolitions, and parachuting. All this was to build solidarity and fraternity among the men. While many would endure this training, Student would be very strict with his selections, as he wanted men who were tough, resilient, self-reliant, and could think on their feet to overcome obstacles. As a result, only 1 in 4 men would be selected to become part of this elite force. This unit belonged to the Luftwaffe of the German military and were initially used as an airborne unit that could be used to capture strategic positions behind enemy lines and clear the way for the main German advances, something that artillery and bombing runs just could not accomplish on their own. They would develop new tactics and strategies specifically to safely jump out of airplanes. Their uniform consisted of a blue-colored camouflage fatigue with a special rimless helmet made specifically for the Fallschirmjägers. This helmet was padded on the inside and usually had a cover over it with the same colored camo as the rest of the uniform. They would originally be equipped with the MP38 and MP40 submachine guns before being equipped with the FG42 rifles and then later the Sturmgewehr 44s. It was also not uncommon for them to have the Mauser Kar98K rifles as well as the MG34 and MG42 machine guns at their disposal. The Fallschirmjägers would see their first operation and taste of combat in 1940 during the invasion of the Low Countries and France. When the Germans invaded Poland in 1939, Hitler had wanted this unit to be kept a secret until he could unleash a devastating blow on the Allies during the Blitzkrieg of Western Europe. As such, the paratrooper unit would be deployed in April of 1940 in Norway and Denmark with the prime objective of capturing their airfields and key bridges to allow the rest of the German invasion to land and advance safely. Their second operation would come a month later in May when they were sent in to invade mainland Europe, particularly in the Netherlands. They would play a key role in the occupation of the Netherlands, taking the Haug almost immediately upon their landings, and then fighting off the Dutch resistance in Rotterdam for 4 straight days before their surrender to the Germans on May 14th. During the battle, General Student would be shot in the head, leaving him out of action until January of 1941. This operation would be a defining moment for the Fallschirmjägers, and their success of which impressed Hitler quite a bit. When Student returned to active duty in January, he was approached by Erwin Rommel with a proposal. This proposal would be an airborne invasion of the island of Crete. If Student's men could capture the island, it could then be used as an airbase for the Luftwaffe, which would ultimately be able to help Rommel in his campaign in North Africa. Hitler approved the mission with the only stipulation that it be completed before their invasion into Russia the following month. The invasion of Crete would begin in the early morning hours of May 20th, 1941, with 3 elite infantry divisions dropping down onto the island, which was only defended by 35,000 Allied soldiers. Unfortunately, however, the mission was a disaster from the start. Despite the gear and soldiers landing in the wrong areas of the island, they also undermined the exact number of Allied troops by 1/3. And to make things worse, they knew that the Germans were coming from decrypted radio signals. The Royal Navy was patrolling the sea just to the north where the invasion was planned to take place at. While the Fallschirmjägers were victorious in this operation, it did come at a cost, with 4,000 men losing their lives in the assault. As a result of this high cost of life, Hitler suspended and cancelled all future airborne operations for the rest of the war. The Fallschirmjägers were now to be used as elite ground infantry troops and were sent to Russia to help fill in the gaps in the German lines. There was one exception, however. In 1943, after Italy switched sides in the war, Otto Skorzeny approached General Student with a proposal to use his airborne forces to rescue the defunct dictator Benito Mussolini from Gran Sasso. Student's men, along with Skorzeny's Waffen-SS, airglide onto the mountain where Mussolini was being held to rescue him before being picked up and flown out. After D-Day in 1944, as the Allies were advancing towards the Rhine, the Fallschirmjägers would play a part in the defense of Germany, trying to halt the advancing Allies under General Montgomery at the Rhine, before being forced to withdraw. They did try to plan an airborne drop, but with the Allies controlling the skies, it never came to fruition. When the war ended, General Student, commander of the Fallschirmjägers, would be put on trial for war crimes in Crete, where the unit had lined up between 20 and 60 men and executed them in front of the women and children by firing squad. Today, however, the Fallschirmjägers still continue to be a part of the German military, or the Bundeswehr, making up the core of their special operation units. In 2010, there was reported to be around 10,000 troops in the unit. Anyway, that's all I have on the Fallschirmjäger forces of World War II. I hope you enjoyed it, and if so, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, and leave your comments down below. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media with Twitter and Facebook, and for all you out there watching my content, I hope that you all have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'll see you all after the holidays in 2019.